Hey, good morning. How are you all today? And welcome to Integrative Preparedness. Well, while everybody else is worrying about these CMEs that are headed our way, that I already told you last night, don't worry about them. Yeah, they might cause you to have some drop, cell calls, and maybe your internet's going to slow down or something like that. It's not going to be a big deal. And I know. I'm keeping up with it. I know. Okay. For those of you who ask, and I didn't bring my books out here, but because I've been out here repotting some herbs and mulching tomatoes and things like that. But for those of you who don't know, who is this guy that tells me whether to worry about CMEs or not? I wrote the Stone Mont series. You can get them through Amazon or from me. The links are down below, and that's an indication. I've thought about this for many years. Okay, so I know of what I speak, and while I say you should prepare yourself for that, don't get all wound around the axle every time some channels come out and say, "Oh, okay, this isn't it." But I want you to be able to be prepared for when the one comes that is it, okay? And as I was out there, repotting some herbs here on my deck, it came back to me a question that I get so often, and that is, well, how does a person prepare when they don't have any money or enough money or broke or whatever, wherever the person ends up on that spectrum. And I don't want those of you who aren't broke, those of you who do well with prepping, please hang through this, because I would love for you to give extra advice to those who do need the advice. I was going to sit down when this idea occurred to me. I was going to sit down and write all my notes in my handy Stone Mont notebook. But I said, nah, I'm just gonna wing it, and if I end up thinking later that I didn't cover everything, then I'll make lists and read lists, stuff like that. But let me just give some basics here, because the basics are important. So for those of you who are wanting some advice on this, not only watch the video, but read the comments. And I'm sure that we have a lot of people here who will give additional advice. And that's the importance of a community like this. People come on with different backgrounds, different abilities, different experiences, and they're able to help each other. Okay, first thing that I want you to do, doesn't cost you a dime, and that is the very first thing you do every day is pray. Okay, pray. You may have heard me tell the story, and I'll say it again here one more time. In yesterday's, I think I put it up on the church channel, Stone Mont Church. But it was a story about a little boy trying to move a rock, okay? And he was just trying to move this big rock and huffing and puffing and couldn't get it done. And his dad was watching him, and the dad said, "Hey, you having a hard time there, huh?" Kid says, "Yeah, I am. And the father asked, "Well, are you doing your best?" "I am. "Are you sure you're doing your best?" "Yes, I am." And the boy's still pushing and grunting. And the father says, "Are you using all of your strength?" "I am. The father says, "No, you're not." And the little boy looks at him. "Well, what do you mean?" "I am." The father says, "No, you're not. You haven't asked for my help." Okay, so ask your Heavenly Father to be with you today, to direct you, to guide you, to strengthen you, to show you the opportunities that are out there. Until you have God in the mix, your mix isn't complete. Okay, so that's the first thing you do. And then the next thing that I would suggest you do is you read a little bit in Proverbs. Don't worry, this isn't going to be this isn't going to be a sermon. Not going to be all religious and everything. But the book of Proverbs is the greatest book of advice you will ever read, okay? It talks about money, it talks about work, it talks about being poor, it talks about industry, it talks about laziness. I'm not saying that you're lazy. It talks about all these different things. You can open up any chapter of Proverbs. Just read. You read 10 or 20 verses, you're going to find something in there that is going to mean something to you today. It is that, written by Solomon the Wise. Let me take a drink. Just a second. Okay, so when we're thinking about preparedness, we're thinking about food, water, shelter, clothing, all sorts of things, tools. I'm going to get to these things. And I don't know where you live, but regardless of where you live, you're going to be able to apply most of these things. Now, the reason that made me think about this is because I've been out planting and mulching and repotting some herbs up here. I keep a kitchen garden up here on the deck. And I got these at the Kansas City Community Garden. And now this is going to be about gardening. Don't worry, I'll get to other food here in a minute. If you haven't gardened, it's not that hard, but it does take a little learning, and you need to get busy on it now, and it costs next to nothing. Okay, so what made me think about this is because the Kansas City Community Garden has a great program. They grow all of these plants and herbs and everything that they make available to the community at a very good price, and it's an escalated price. You buy your membership. It goes from $2 to $45 a year. Okay, so for those with little or no income, $2. You can get $2, and I bet you well, if you don't have $2, you don't have the gas to get there. So, but and then after that, trying to think what the cost is for the lowest level. It is they sell, for instance, their peppers, their tomatoes, their eggplant, their everything. They sell them in 3-packs. So a 3-pack costs the low level 30 cents. 30 cents, and they're already started, and they're good stock. And for and I think, yeah, when you buy your membership, you get 10 of those. No, I'm sorry. You get 10 packets of seeds free as a part of your membership. And then you can buy up to 10 of these 3-packs for 30 cents a piece. That's 10 cents per plant. And those plants, are going to produce for you, and they're going to produce well. So if you don't have, say, well, what does it take to get into gardening? Okay, well, you need some dirt. You need, if you have a home, well, you're going to have a yard to plant it in. If you live in an apartment, or you just don't have, whatever, there's buckets laying all around the place. You can go to a nursery and say, hey, could I have a few of your unused buckets? I mean, that you're throwing out, because they get in a lot of their plants in pots, and then they toss them. Yeah, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. And they'll say, yeah, go back here and take what you want, and you'll be going back in there. You need some dirt to put in there, right? Okay, maybe you can dig some dirt out of your yard and put it in your pot if you're going to put it in a pot. And I do suggest you can grow anything in a pot, or a 5-gallon bucket. 5-gallon buckets are laying all over the place. If you can't find any, don't buy them. Go down to your local grocery store and go back to the baking section and say, hey, do you have any plastic buckets that I could have? And, every now and then somebody will say no, but just keep trying. That says, well, go to the next place. And pretty soon somebody says, yeah, we got a bunch of them we need to get rid of. How many do you want? You get your buckets. Fill those up with dirt. If you can afford it, if you got a few dollars, good. Go to a Home Depot or Walmart or wherever you want to, and get some potting soil, because it has some additives. It has some fertilizer in it. It has a lot of things. It is an absorbent. If you can't afford that, depending on where you live, probably there's some woods next to you. Go down with a little spade in the woods in a bucket, and dig some dirt up, because when you go down into the woods, you're going to find some very, very good soil. Okay, because it has been the soil has developed as a matter of leaves and sticks and everything falling on it. It's decayed. It's falling apart. It becomes very biologically active. It's going to be good soil. Why do you think things grow so well in the woods, right? And this kind of goes back to the back to Eden method, if you're familiar with that. So start growing. Start growing as much as you can. Not only will you be providing yourself food that's a lot healthier than what you buy, you're going to develop a sense of ability, okay, and a sense of being more in control of your own situation, and you'll probably come to enjoy it a lot. And every year you will expand your food production, and that's exactly what you should do. You should produce as much as your food as you possibly can. Not going to happen the first year, but get your feet wet and get out there and prepare for the next year. The first time you eat a homegrown tomato, you'll realize you've never tasted a tomato or a potato or whatever. It's just so much fun. Squash is another good one. You can grow any of this stuff in a 5-gallon bucket. Okay. Now, how about food that is? Let me skip to something else here that you can get for free. Pallets. Pallets are great tools for preparedness. And they're all over the place. And half the places that get pallets in, they give them away to pallet dealers. And if you just drive around behind some buildings, and when you find a bunch of pallets stacked up, go around to the store that's putting them out there and say, "Hey, do you mind if I take a few pallets?" They'll say, well, occasionally somebody will say, "Well, we save all those for a particular guy that comes by," because there are people who have made businesses out of selling old pallets to the pallet places, right? But within 2 or 3 places, you're going to, and maybe all the places, they're going to say, "Yeah, take what you want." You're going to have pallets. You can use pallets to garden in. You can use them to build compost bins in. You can use them for all sorts of things. You can use them to line a path between your garden plots. Pallets are very important. Buckets and pallets. Okay. And there's a whole lot of other things. You can get wire fencing, anything like this. But let's stay with food for just a minute. If you are in you might be, if you're really doing badly, make use of a food pantry. I'm not a believer in people using food pantries who can afford to buy their own food. But if you really can't, go to a food pantry and let them help you. And don't get the junk. Okay, don't get the junk. Don't get the chips. I'll be honest, I don't know what they have in food pantries, but get nutritious food. I saw something on Facebook not long ago that somebody had a picture there and said, "This is all we get for $262 we get every week on SNAP," which I think is the food stamp program nowadays, and that's all nobody can survive on this. And that picture was just full of pop and chips and expensive crap. There was no good food in it. Make sure that you get good food. Okay. Don't take more than you need. I mean, unless I don't know, you might be in there and somebody says, "Man, we got more peas than we can stand. You want some more?" And be honest, say, "Well, I don't need them, but I'll take them." Okay, take them. You haven't done anything wrong with that. If you live in a smaller town or in a rural area, the suburbs and cities are full of these places. They are full of resources. That's why a lot of people prefer to live in the suburbs and the cities, to be real honest. Okay, they're full of resources. If you need tools and clothing, excuse me, let me have another. Go into, and I don't know what it's like in the country. You probably have these around, yard sales and things like that. But I'll tell you, and I have seen some. So it's not like I'm speaking from total ignorance. I have seen some of them in small towns. They're not near like what you will find if you'll simply go to a suburb. If you live in the city, come out to the suburbs. If you live out in the country, come into the suburbs. Every Thursday, Friday, all the neighborhoods around. Areas like mine, which are, I'll be honest, affluent, they have these huge subdivision garage sales. Not everybody has a garage sale. I mean, every cul-de-sac you go into is going to be one or two. They have stuff for so cheap, and usually it's a Thursday or Friday, or a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and the last day they're letting stuff go for next to nothing. I mean, they want to get rid of it. They didn't put the stuff out there for sale because they want to keep it, right? They want to get rid of it, and they're saying, okay. And really, garage sales are a drag if you've ever had one. and some people do it to make a little money. Most people just do it to get rid of their stuff. And, they're going to charge a decent price. They're going to, it's going to be cheap the first day. It's going to be extra cheap the second day. And by the third day, they're going, oh, man, I'm about to put this stuff up by the curb and let people have it. And a lot of times they do. So go in there. You're going to find clothing. You're going to find tools. And the thing about this is, and, some people say, well, I don't want used clothes. Well, if you get something and then you wear it, now it's used. If you bought it new, wash them. But here I'm talking to people who say they don't have any money. And so I wouldn't think anybody would be too, averse to buying clothes at garage sales or yard sales. But you're going to find much higher quality clothes, okay, than you will at Walmart or Target or any place like that, or to be honest, even small town places. You're going to find some really high quality stuff, and that means they're going to last a long time. Okay, buy the quality stuff. Tools, oh man, you're gonna be able to pick up tools for next to nothing. Now some of them they're not selling their new tools, they're selling their old tools. Hand axe might have a little rust on it because it's been in the garage and they forgot about it. So what? Clean off the rust, you got an axe. You got a hoe for $1. You got a rake for $1. You got a shovel for $1. You got a pickaxe for $1. I have a bunch of that stuff just because I can't pass them up. And I don't know how many shovels I've got. I don't need another shovel, but when I see a shovel for $1 and it's in decent shape, I can't pass it, right? Excuse me. You see these people, if you're really, now I'm not a proponent of panhandling, but if your family is really going under, what would you not do? Around where I live, every street corner has people with signs. Now, these are not the old little cardboard signs, written in charcoal with some guy, veteran needs help. These are signs. These are signs, big signs, and these people who are dressed pretty well, to be honest, are standing at every street corner, intersection of any type, and they have a sign that says, out of work, 3 kids, need help, God bless. I have no idea whether these people are legit or not. What I do know is I watch people stopping and giving them money all the time. If this is something that is acceptable to you, I'm just throwing that out. If it's something that you need, well, if you really need help, go to your church. I would hope that you belong to a church, or that you have, that's what a church should be doing. But if it's all on you, hey, you live out in the country, you want to come to the city and make some money? Don't go down to the city. Come to the suburbs. Bring up a sign. You'll probably make 40, 50, 60 grand a year. I'm serious. What else was I going to say? Just a second. Let me think. Okay. To get a little stuff, Dollar Tree. I know that most of the small town areas have Dollar Generals. You can tell you're out of the suburbs when you see a Dollar General, right? I kind of like Dollar General. Whenever we're traveling and we see a Dollar General, okay, I bet they've got whatever it is we want. I bet they've got it. They're kind of messy, to be honest. But kind of reminds me of the old stores. But Dollar General, they're not all that inexpensive, and you all would be surprised. Very often things are more expensive in small towns and rural areas simply because it costs more to get them delivered there, and they don't buy in bulk, right? As much as other places, unless like Dollar General has their own stuff. But Dollar Tree, and this isn't Family Dollar. This is Dollar Tree, where everything used to be $1 and now it's $1.25. Bidenomics. The stuff they have in there is not high quality stuff, but it's passable stuff. Okay, and there are some things that you can get in there to prepare for. Matter of fact, there's like if you need ponchos, okay, need a rain ponchos. You can get them for $1. You can get them for $1 at Academy or at Walmart, for that matter. But there's a lot of stuff that you can get in at the Dollar Tree that is going to be. It's not going to last you. It's not going to hold up to hard use, but it'll get you by with gentle use. Okay. There are so many things. These are the basics. If you need a place to get started, food. We covered that. There's no reason. I tell you, a lot of places also. Did you know? I used to love. This is something else I was going to tell you. I used to love dumpster diving. Oh, I loved it. You can get so much stuff. I think they've secured most of them now. But 20, 30 years ago, we used to go out just for fun and see what we could find. It was unbelievable what you would find in dumpsters. Now, in the suburbs, every year, every city, pretty much. I don't know if this is countrywide, and I know that many of you are watching from all over the country or all over the world. But here in our area, in Kansas City, pretty much every city on the Kansas side anyway, or the affluent cities, let me put it that way, have what they call Big Trash Day or large item pickup. And it is one day a year that everybody can just throw, we all have trash day on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever, but one day a year, everybody can put all the stuff that they want to out by the curb, and they'll bring around trucks and pick it all up. You can't believe what people will put out. My brother, his entire, and he has as nice of, if not nicer, patio furniture. He's gotten all of his patio furniture from Big Trash Day. People just say, I want a new patio set. Well, let's put this out there. They don't want to take the trouble of selling it. They don't want to take the trouble of packing it up and taking it to Goodwill. They don't care. They're going to put it by the curb. Check your cities that are close to you and just look through the city, or call their operator. Excuse me, do you have a Big Trash Day in your city? Yeah, we got it, and such and such and such and such. And you'll want to go out the evening before the Big Trash Day, because that's where everybody puts their stuff out. I'll tell you what, Kelly and I used to do it for fun. And we got so much stuff, we had to stop. My brother has furnished half his house with a Big Trash Day, and it's not trashy stuff. He's not a trashy guy. He lives in a very nice house. He just finds it fun. He used to take my mom out as kind of before she passed, as kind of entertainment. So check your Big Trash Days. What else was I going to put in like that? Let me see, just a second. Oh yeah, a woman was telling me this not long ago, that we talked about dumpsters and stuff like that. She says that she has spouted up. Now this woman, you would not look at her and say that she needs to do this. She just likes to do it. She says she has spotted a couple of bakeries that after they get through, and these are, I think they're like neighborhood or privately owned bakeries, as opposed to the big supermarkets. Maybe the supermarkets do too. I have no idea. But she says after they have everything fresh the first day, and then they have their day old stuff, and then after that, they don't keep them out on their shelves because their customers would complain, and they toss it. She says she knows a couple of places she'll go by at night. The dumpsters are full of fresh baked loaves of bread, and I don't mean the crap, the Wonder Bread and stuff like that, but I mean baked by the bakery, sweet rolls, croissants, whatever. It's just full. Scavenging is so beneficial, and it's fun. It is fun, and like I say, I'm trying to think, was it 30 years ago? 20, I don't know what. I used to love scavenging. I didn't need half the stuff I didn't need anything. I just thought it was so much fun. I couldn't believe what Americans throw away. That's it. And when you do these things, now here's the other thing. If you don't need this stuff, I told my brother one time about big trash day. I said a guy could make a living just coming out here and picking stuff up and reselling it. And I've never done that, I don't think. But you could. If you want to make money, get out there and get some of the stuff and then resell it. And you will make money. And that's the thing that I want to say at the end of this, because I know that, a lot of people have been kind of upset with me. Well, some very upset with me when I say, if you don't have the money, you need to make more money. And that's true. If you're struggling, you need to struggle your way out of struggling. That's reading Proverbs is going to help you a lot. Start with these things. But then don't just think about getting stuff that you need. Think about things that you can sell. Because as much as people don't like to, many people won't admit this, because they think that prepping is all about having nothing and living it very basic, and that is the biggest bunch of hogwash. Rich people are so much more prepared than poor people, or even so many of the people that think they're preppers. Rich people are prepared, because becoming rich is the result of a preparedness mindset. See, it comes from a mindset that says, I need to prepare to withstand the future. See, that's what preparedness is. And I need more. I want this, I need more. See, some people will say, well, that's greedy. But isn't that preparedness, right? The person that says, I need more rice and beans, nobody calls them greedy. But the person that says, I need more money with which to buy rice and beans, then they call them greedy. You need to improve your financial situation. And you can do it. There are so many easy ways to do this. Just like I said, my mother, I'll use my mother as an example. When she retired, she just needed something to do. For a while, she traded commodities, did very well at it, taught herself how to trade. She was a day trader, commodities. I did that in her 70s and did well. But then she got bored of just being on her computer all the time. She likes being out and being around people. She started going out to estate sales and buying jewelry. She was very particular. She'd buy some jewelry, and then she would advertise it on Etsy. And what does that cost? $25? I don't know. I've never sold anything on Etsy. And she built a business. She was selling stuff all over the world. So it can be done. And you can do it. And you need to do it if you're prepared. Now, most of you, I hope, got some ideas from this. And you're even now thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Let me say something. I'm not going to say it to the person. There will be people who, even after everything that I've said, will go, no, I can't do that. Can't do that. Well, you don't just understand. Well, that person can't be helped. And what I would suggest, probably if you are struggling, you probably know some of those people. And they will hold you back. The higher you get in socioeconomic levels, the fewer people you will meet like that. Okay? Because those people are thinking about succeeding. They don't tell themselves, oh, I can't do that. They tell themselves, I can do that, and I'm going to do that. And that's the mindset you need to develop. But sadly, the lower socioeconomic classes are kind of held in that position, in that morass, not by the more affluent, but by themselves, by their friends and by their family, who have this failure mindset and say, oh, the man's keeping us down. The rich people won't let us go ahead. No, what's not letting them get ahead is they won't get up off the couch and go do some of the things that I've said here today. But if you'll do it, it'll pay off. It will pay off. And so I'm going to leave it there. And again, I want to ask, the people who have done these things and can verify what I've said, please leave your comments. It's going to help those people who need to hear this message, right? And for those of you who need this help, God bless you. God be with you. Get out there and do it. You can improve your life beyond what you can imagine. God doesn't want you to live a life of anguish and worry and not having things, I know the old saying, and too many people rest in this, blessed are the poor in spirit. People misunderstand that. Do you know what the word poor there indicates? Humble. But too many people kind of think that the idea of being poor is being blessed. No, it's not. There is no blessing. There's nothing to be proud of being poor. Okay, you need to be out there taking care of yourselves, developing the abilities the good Lord's given you, and then do it to a point to where you can help others. A poor person can't help many people. Okay, no, and because I mean, saying, "Oh, I'm praying for you," well, you know, good, but you want to be able to do more than that, right? Okay, so get out there and do something. I'll look forward to hearing everybody's comments. And come up with your own ideas as well. Once you get started on this, you're not going to believe how many ways you're going to find you can prepare for cheap or next to nothing or nothing. Okay? Hey, by the way, if you're interested, my books are available. I'll put the links down below on Amazon or through me directly, our website, stonemont.us. There are so many lessons in there. And if you'd like to join us on the Patreon channel, that's $1 a month. There's a lot more information over there if you'd like. You know, investing in yourself is an investment. Investing in knowledge, learning, that's important. And anyone who won't invest in knowledge doesn't understand. Okay? All right. Hey, you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.